thoughts and prayers to the many people of Central Florida who are recovering from another hurricane emergency. They probably lost a lot. And it's unfortunate that they also have to bear the loss of another L as the Jacksonville Jaguars face the Chicago Bears this week. Q. The Jaguars are going to play in a familiar place in London. That's the only reason that I'm a little concerned about our team's chances against them this week, because it's a young team and this is a different type of game, going all the way to London to play football. It's a different type of preparation. Jacksonville does this all the time. Other than that, I think this is a lock for the Bears.
Well, my biggest concern right now isn't playing overseas. It's the fact that we'll be down two members of our starting secondary and our next best backup corner. So Jaquan Brisker isn't traveling to London, and Tyreek Stevenson injured his calf in practice the other day, or I think it was Wednesday, and now he's doubtful. And Terrell Smith is recovering from a hip injury. I don't know if you guys remember Terrell Smith was a fifth round pick of Ryan Poles last year out of Minnesota. Started a couple games last year and played pretty well. He played pretty well in games that he had to start. So he's not available. So you'll be turning to Jalen Johnson, who actually also played pretty well in his time as a Bear last year when he was forced to step up. But being down two starters in your secondary and your top backup to your outside corners, that's definitely cause for concern, especially when you're going against a Jaguars team who right now their biggest threat is probably their wide receivers. So that's my big concern.
Oh, I think their biggest threat is still coming out the backfield. You saw a career day from Tank Bigsby last week, and even though
Yeah.
he took a lot of the rushing production from Travis Etienne, Travis Etienne did lead the team in targets and catches, if I'm not mistaken. And we've talked ad nauseum about the Bears,
I'm
their
okay with
struggles
Etienne getting the volume.
defending the run.
I'd rather keep the ball. I'd rather keep the ball out of Brian Thomas Jr. hand. They can throw as many targets as they want to Etienne. I'd be fine. I'd be fine with him getting the ball.
You're right about Brian Thomas. I think he's had 85 yards each of the last three games, or 85 yards 3 games this season. He's definitely somebody to be concerned about, especially with two guys out of our secondary, two guys that are very important to our secondary. So where we need to pick it up from our defensive line, they're going to have to play up, play up to their potential and possibly play better. Last week we got to Dalton 10 times. We hit him 10 times, put him on the ground 4 times. Last week, Trevor Lawrence, who's usually on the ground, he didn't get touched at all. I don't think he got hurried, to hit, or sacked at all last week. That has to change. We had to speed him up and force him to make mistakes. We can't let him have that same type of game like he had last week, where he threw for 370 some odd yards and multiple touchdowns. Can't do that.
I agree with you. I think where you make up for the lack of starting quality depth in the secondary is by getting to the quarterback. So this is the game where you want to see Montez Sweat have a huge impact. Javon Dexter continue to do what he's doing. You want to see Darrell Taylor have a game like he had in week one. You just want to see the guys from the defensive line really step up. And Jaquan Brisker not only was or is, sorry, I don't want to say was, it's past tense, not only is a strong force against the pass as a safety, but he's good in the box though. He's good in run fits. He's also good in blitz. Him and Gordon are two of the better blitzing players off the secondary in the entire league. So that takes away a lot of versatility that you have. And on the other side of the ball, the Bears have to be very cognizant to keep a hat and to Allen, your boy, and Trevon Walker from getting to Caleb. Trevon Walker had a big game last week. Those guys can completely derail an offensive passing game. They can cause turnovers.
Yeah, let's go to our side of the ball now. So on our side, our offense, Caleb Williams coming off again, another great game. Do you think he can top this game this week? He should be, right? If you consider what Jacksonville's defense let Joe Flacco get away with last week. He had over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns. He just ate them alive. But he got sacked 4 times. I don't want to say that Caleb can even build on the game he had last week. Maybe he had something similar. Maybe not that effect. But if there's going to be an improvement from what they gave up to Flacco to what they're going to give up to Caleb's going to get sacked 4 times. And I'm not saying that because our offensive line is better, because it definitely isn't. I'm saying that because Joe Flacco's a statue in the pocket. Caleb, as we see,
and he will
Caleb
hold the ball.
around.
Joe Flacco's a statue, and Joe Flacco likes to attack deep. And any quarterback that likes to attack deep, you need one thing, that you need a play to develop. You need to hold on to the ball. Holding on to the ball, it's not always a bad thing from quarterback. I know over the last couple of years, all the analytic nerds will tell you and give you all these advanced stats of getting the ball out fast and all this. I get it. But playing quarterback is dynamic. And speaking of dynamic, I got ahead of myself, but the Jaguars edge rushers are dynamic. I don't know if you guys remember, was it last free agency or it was this free agency? You were advocating for the Bears to sign Josh Hines Allen. He put the Hines in there to separate him from the Buffalo Bills quarterback, Josh Allen. But he's a tremendous player, and he's one of the league's less heralded, less celebrated stars. And I think you can call Josh Allen a star. He is a versatile edge who can drop in coverage. He can play the run. He can sack the quarterback. He was a top 5 pick, I believe, 4 or 5 years ago. Been to 1 or 2 Pro Bowls. I mean, he just Jacksonville isn't really a place that NFL stars get a lot of recognition. You know, they're not one of the glory or the charter franchise. They're one of the franchises that's covered a lot. But he's a good player. And Travon Walker was the number 1 or number 2 pick 2-3 years ago.
I think he was number 1 or 2. I think he was number 1.
Yeah. He went over Aiden Hutchinson, right, in that draft. So these are guys. These are guys that are talented, athletic. They're going to challenge Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones. They are the thing. They are the aspect of Jacksonville's secondary that I fear, because when you got edge rushers getting pressure to a quarterback, they can cause direct sacks, strip sacks, or force the quarterback in the turnover, the interception. These are things that can change the game. Jaguars defense is, as you said, they are something Caleb can build on, and he had even more of an impressive game. Jacksonville is one of 3 teams or 2 teams that has given up 6 yards per play. They are getting gashed. Their defense outside of the edge rushers is not solid. They're not playing well. This is a game where DJ Moore can have big plays. This is the game where DeAndre Swift can have big plays. So the Bears have a chance to have another good offensive showing, and I think they will need to. And they have a chance to get downfield and make big plays. So I want to see Swift with at least 1 or 2 plays of above 20 yards. Same with DJ Moore. I want to see Rome get involved. I don't think Keenan Allen has a pass over 20 yards. I want to see him get one of those. So I want to see some explosive plays out of the Bears offenses. I think when you do that, you can kind of minimize those pass rushers from just pinning their ears back and going after Caleb.
To double down on that, only one team defends wide receivers worse than Jacksonville Jaguars. So this is the game we can see some breakout performances. Looking at you, Keenan Allen.
Roman Jones, too. Get them all involved.
Right, exactly. Because Keenan Allen knows that they combined for 8 catches and 7 last week, and on a great offensive game all around for the offense. Cole Kmet had 3 catches for 50 yards, if I'm not mistaken. So
sounds about right.
This is another game. This is another game we can see guys get their numbers, get their stats up.
Yeah, that game.
And get more.
Make us fantasy owners happy. DeAndre, DJ Moore, I beg of you, look at me. I'm suffering in one of my leagues. I need you guys. DJ, give me 140-yard performance, two tutties again. DeAndre, stop getting tackled at the one. I don't know if you saw some of the mic'd up, Mr. Caleb, as DJ Morris called him. He's being bossy, as Caleb has said, maybe a bit sassy. I want some sass and bossiness. DeAndre, get your ass in the end zone. Stop jumping on offensive lineman's head, twirling around, getting tackled at the one. Stop get the end zone. Get in there. You don't want Roshan vulturing touchdowns. I'll tell you how you can stop Roshan from vulturing your touchdowns. Cross the end zone. Get across the line. Do that, DeAndre. Don't get tackled. I need you, man. I'm suffering in one of these leagues. I come on, I need you. Give me a game. Because
I'm
Brandon,
dealing with,
you wouldn't give me a
I'm dealing
game.
with two run back. I'm dealing with two running back injuries in one of my teams, so I just picked up Roshan Johnson. So uh,
You know, in one of my leagues, I actually got I had Roshan Johnson. I was dealing with some bye weeks, and I had Raheem Mostert. And I didn't know if I wanted to play him last week because the Dolphins' offense hasn't been productive. Jameer Gibbs is on bye. I'm like, you know what? I'll throw Roshan in there, and I'll throw Tyrone Tracy in there. And I had a very big win over a guy named Eric White. A very big win. Yeah, Roshan gave me two touchdowns and a good fantasy day, and so did the young kid Tyrone or what is it? Tracy Johnson of the Giants, or Tyrone John. I probably bungled his name, but the young Giants fifth round pick. Anyways, I've gotten off track. Fantasy football frustration. People, if you're out there and you haven't started playing fantasy football, don't. I don't care how wonderful people tell you fantasy football is. Don't play it. Enjoy your Sunday. Have a peaceful Sunday.
Jaguars so far this season. They're pretty good against the run. I think they gave up less than 100 yards last week, 5 yards a carry, but they still surrendered less than 100 yards. I think their run defense on the season is better than the Chicago Bears' run defense on the season, which ain't saying a
Hmm.
lot, but it is something to pay attention to. So we might have to win this game through the air because to be honest, we haven't seen this rushing attack be successful enough for we to actually call for it this week, right?
I would say more than likely, yeah. I know the Colts didn't have success running the ball. Jonathan Taylor was out. Trey Sermon has struggled early in his career. I think he's a former third round pick. San Francisco gave up on him early. I don't know if it's division or just uh, the athleticism, but he isn't breaking long runs. He struggled. And for the Bears, I like what Bill Murray has going on. He was nasty last week, as Jaquan Brisker said about their week one loss last year. I'm sipping the Kool-Aid. Bill Murray, I am sipping the Kool-Aid. You already got a Chicago legend name. I think a legend is in the making.
Shout out Groundhog Day.
We're shouting the fact you shouted out Groundhog Day, and I know what you're talking about. Lets me know I'm just as old or older than you. I'm telling you,
Ghostbusters.
shouting out. Go, please stop. Now you're making me seem ancient. I'm already telling me you got a 21-year-old child, 21-year-old adult. She can drink her own liquor. She doesn't have to
Man,
smuggle, get somebody to buy her liquor anymore. She can probably walk into the store and buy liquor. There's nothing you can do. She can drink it right in front of your face. She can go to the dispensary. You can't stop her.
no, I can't stop, but I can give her that look, and that's gonna stop her. That look still work. That look gonna work until about 30. Um, let's get some predictions. But what do you think? What's a game that you're calling for Caleb?
What's the game? I want him to be efficient. I want him to avoid the sack. I don't want him to. Caleb is pretty good at extending plays with his athleticism and making defensive linemen look silly, juking. I'm a little worried about these defensive linemen. Josh Hines Allen, he's not the guy to try to make silly. Trevon Walker, these aren't the guys to try to make silly. These are elite level athletes. You are not running away from them. You're probably not avoiding them unless you are one of two or three quarterbacks in the NFL playing right now: the Lamar Jackson, Justin Fields, or Jalen Hurts. Those guys are probably more athletic than probably any quarterback playing outside of those three. Maybe Josh Allen too. Josh Allen's a tremendous athlete too and strong. So I don't want Caleb to try to play in the hero ball. I just want him to get the ball out, get it to his weapons. Jaguars are getting gashed everywhere. Make Jacksonville make a tackle. They haven't been good at tackling. They haven't been good at preventing a big play. Get the ball out. Get into the hands of your players. Even if you got to check down, let's see what Jacksonville got. Let's see if they can. Let's see if they can make tackles. Let's see if they can get these guys in space.
Yeah, for me, I want to see Caleb continue to go on the trend that he's already set for himself. He doesn't have to do 300 yards again, but another no turnover game, another making smart plays. I want to see something in the neighborhood of 270 some odd yards through the air, less than 2 sacks. I want to continue seeing that quarterback rating in the hundreds, maybe 95 or better. So something like that. I'm perfect with. Obviously, that if he does that, that's going to contribute to a win in the Bears' favor. Let's talk about the running game. And when we're not expecting to see Khalil Herbert, right?
Khalil Herbert actually played last week. I think you'll continue to see Khalil Herbert handle kickoff return duties. I like Khalil Herbert, but I remember there was early in the training camp where I was wondering if he would make the team. It's not because of Khalil Herbert's talent. It's because I foresaw the Bears using DeAndre Swift heavily, and DeAndre Swift and Khalil Herbert have similar skill set. When you want to have a change of pace back, Roshan is the perfect change of pace from DeAndre Swift, or vice versa. DeAndre the perfect change of pace from Roshan. He brings a lot of power. So yeah, you probably won't see Khalil Herbert. If you do see Khalil Herbert, either somebody got injured or the Bears are blowing out Jacksonville so bad that they've already emptied the bench, which I wouldn't mind seeing. So I think you'll see Roshan continue to get his carries, DeAndre continue to dominate the snap share.
Agreed. I think the Bears like what they got going on. They finally figured out late, albeit late, that Roshan should be getting a lot of those carries. And DeAndre Swift, he's got some motion going. So let's not rock the
Using him
boat.
the right way now, but they're using DeAndre the right way now. You're getting him out in space, getting towards the boundary, running him off tackle where he doesn't have to make as much decision making in the run game. You're running him right off tackle, get him north south, get him to the second level where we can make people miss. Utilizing the skill set. Roshan, you run between the tackles, continue to do what you're doing. Roshan is actually versatile. He can also factor into the pass game. So I like what they're doing, and I think Roshan is one of those guys you could use to start away games. When you're up 10 in the fourth quarter, or you want to keep the opposing team's offense off the field. That's a guy you can use as a time possession model. So shout out to Shane Waldron, like Tiff said, for coming up with a get better game plan and better utilizing the guys he has. So I want to see Waldron continue to utilize guys the right way.
Shout out to Shane. He's doing some things right now. Let's keep moving in the same direction. As you saw,
He's cooking.
Seattle Seahawks, they looking like their offense is a little lost right about now.
They could use Shane, but they're not going to be able to use him because he's a bear now. He bears down.
That's correct.
He's not a 12th man. He doesn't fly any of your little flags. He doesn't help Geno break out. He's here to watch Caleb win Rookie of the Year, contend for MVP, and get into the playoffs, because that's what's going to happen. That I'm telling you, people. You people need to start listening to us. We give you all the sauce for free. Start betting. Start betting. Listen to us whatever we say. Don't second guess anymore. We tell you some fantasy news, you shut up, you listen. We give you a prediction, you shut up, you listen. That's going to be the thing. Shut up and listen.
the Bears.
Shut up and listen. That's right. Let's talk wide receivers. This got to be the game. Keenan does something, right?
Yes, yes. I think this is the game where where Keenan does utilize his veteran savvy, finds his spots in those zones and eats. Gets some run after the catch, gets some downfield targets. I think here comes a prediction. We see Keenan Allen get in the end zone this week. This is the week. You see Keenan Allen get in the end zone. If you got Keenan on that bench, put him in that flex spot. He gets in the end zone today. Sorry, not today. Sunday.
Like it. Uh, I do think that I'm not pressing Keelan. I don't think he's stealing money because I do think he's going to play a major role when we do get into these division games. But
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, the ramp
yeah.
up period with these soft defenses we're playing, we want to see that. We want to see that he becomes a factor in this offense. So
As
I
team
agree with you.
starts,
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But as teams see DJ Moore eating downfield more, as they start playing more of a too deep look, where they're just trying to keep DJ. And Rome is also a guy that can get downfield. We've seen him win 50-50 balls. As you start trying to get your safety back deep and prevent DJ from getting downfield on you, that's where Keenan's going to eat in that intermediate zone, in that short zone, and be able to turn upfield for another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 yards. So yeah, I agree with you. It's not that Keenan isn't doing anything. Like you said, he's not stealing money, but this is the time where you see the statistical out the statistics match the player. And I want to make no mistake about it. We're not criticizing Keenan, but he's paid 24 million. When you pay a guy 24 million, the guy has to get in the end zone. The guy has to have big games. That's just the way it goes. It is a what have you done lately for me league? Is a league that thrives on production. And production as a wide receiver, even though Keenan's blocking downfield, doing all the things you like to do as a veteran receiver, why he's so respected in this league. The end of the day, you're paid to catch the ball. And at the beginning of the game, you're paid to catch the ball. And as a wide receiver, even at the middle of the day, all through the day, you're paid to catch the ball. They're not signing guys just to block. You want a guy that can block, go get Aquamius St. Brown. And I think he's on somebody's practice squad. So they don't value blocking out of wide receivers that much. Because if they did, he wouldn't be on somebody's practice squad right now.
I didn't know he was on somebody's practice squad. I just thought he was podcasting now. Shout out to the St. Brown podcast.
Yeah, he's one of our rivals now. But there's enough room for all of us to eat. St. Brown is just preparing for his next career, and it could be coming sooner rather than later. I like that. That's how you get out in front of a problem, people. You when you see yourself move from starter to further down the wide receiver depth chart and then practice squad, get out ahead of the problem, people. You know, one of the best things to stop unemployment is self-employment. That's central to the election unemployment. Get out there and say, hey, the NFL doesn't need me. I'll just report on it.
Hey, that's facts. That's don't be late to the party. Shannon Sharp had to take a while for he both
Join the party.
Yeah, that's right. Get there. You seen what what's my man Keenan McCardell? You seen his glow up. He's a bigger star now than he was when he was catching passes in Minnesota.
Yeah, you see Uncle Shay Shay out here making some. I think he's made more money. I think it's pretty safe to say he's made more money in his podcast career than he did on the field. I know he did crazy numbers with the interview with Cat, and that had crazy YouTube. Yeah, so
Easy. I don't even think it's close. I think his post career money is his post career check. In fact, his last 5 years dwarf his whole NFL career. Tight ends weren't getting paid in the 90s.
hey, my fingers are crossed. Hopefully, we'll do that. You all keep supporting us, keep listening to us, and maybe one day you'll see us being taken down by the feds for being at a Diddy party. One can only hope. These are the type of, Biggie once said, "More money, more problems." Um, I've lived a good life. It's time for the feds to come arrest me for being at some swanky, slightly illegal Hollywood party, and Pay is in full support of that. He wants to go too. He doesn't want to just be a fly on the wall at the Diddy party. He wants to be one of the supporting characters. He wants to be there with all the rich and famous people doing illegal things or semi-illegal things or being complicit in illegal things. He wants one of those. He wants to be complicit in the illegal activities of the celebrities. And
Hey,
the way you
networking
can
is
make Pay's dream come true is by continue to listen and
networking is
share.
networking. Yes, and
Networking
share.
is networking.
What did Diddy famously say? Tell your friends so they can be our friends. We can be friends.
All the signs were there. Listen, all you have to do is go listen to his career, telling his girl we were more than friends. We were more than lovers. We were like brothers. Take that. Take that. Having people walk miles for cheesecake. What type of torture is that? Whatever they said Diddy did, he did it
He did it twice. Take that. Take that.
twice. Yeah.
He said that line that I just said. He said that while in the hot tub. I'm not certain if that tub was filled with water or it was filled with baby oil. I don't know. I don't know. The rumors are out there.
Remember,
Um,
he was paging Biggie at like 5 in the morning. What was he
hey,
doing up? And
nothing is that important to page me at 5 in the morning.
I'm not texting any man between the hours of midnight and 8 a.m. Those are good morning hours and booty call hours. Hey, I didn't make the rules, but I do play the game. So
What is a good out? What's a good output for the defense to this Sunday?
will the Bears, I believe, over the Colts broke a Bears streak of, I believe it was 8 games holding opponents under 20 games, but still they're under 20 points. They still haven't allowed an opponent over 21 points in a really long time, and they played some hot offenses. They still haven't done that. Uh, it's really hard to continue to ask the defense to remain at the top of their game with key starters out. I mean, Jaquan Brisker just isn't a starter. He's been he's been a spark of the secondary, and that's saying a lot when you got a All Pro like Jalen Johnson there. I think Jalen Johnson was second team All Pro. You have a guy like Jalen Johnson there, and Jaquan Brisker stood out. Uh, Tyreek Stevenson sets a physical tone out there on the boundary as a corner. But I still think this defense has enough talent. Elijah Hicks, he's played well in spot duty. He's actually started a few games. Eddie Jackson has been out, and I didn't really see a lot of drop off when Elijah Hicks got there. So I expect him to continue to do a sound fundamental job when he gets in. We've seen Jalen Johnson play last year. Remember, Kyler Gordon was had a stint on IR, and Jalen. I'm sorry, Jalen Jones. Jalen Jones, not Johnson. Jalen Johnson is our number one corner. But Jalen Jones, not the coach Jalen Jones, our Jalen Jones, he's also played an extended amount of times. We saw Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson out last year at overlapping times on at IR, and he played pretty good. So I want to see the defense continue to hold teams. I think this is the Jaguars team. You got to corral Bigsby. You cannot allow that guy runs hard. That guy's fast. Like I said earlier, I'd rather the ball be in Etienne's hands than them get it in Bigsby or Brian Thomas Jr. hands. So limit the big plays. Don't let Bigsby uncurl a big run on you. Please, let's have let this be the week where we don't give up the plus 20-yard run, the big run. Don't let
Please.
Brian Thomas, yeah, don't let Brian Thomas Jr. get behind you. Make Trevor Lawrence look the way he's but for the last year, with the exception of yesterday against the Colts and a couple other games last year. Make Trevor look like a game manager who will panic and throw you an interception. Do that. Let's not get a hero game.
Yeah, I'd rather see Trevor Lawrence tuck the ball and run more than he's used to because he doesn't. They don't really call a lot of they don't call a lot of quarterback runs in that offense, right?
No,
He
they don't do a
does
lot
it
of
when
RPOs.
no, he does it when he's flustered and he just can't get anything throwing the ball. So I want to see that more than usual. So let's get
And
a
when
game
you
prediction.
when you get pressure on Trevor, he will make a throw he shouldn't. You know, you start getting from what I've seen of Trevor Lawrence when you as you said, if you don't let it get comfortable, Trevor will make some mistakes back there.
Agreed. So let's go ahead and get a game score prediction for the Bears as the home team in London playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll go first. I got the Bears winning 27-15.
I have this a close game. I heard the line was moving. So I think the Bears still cover. I got this one 27-21.
Doing my pick'em sheet and putting in some slips. The Bears are only 2.5-point favorites now. It
Oh,
was
really? It started off
about
3.5.
3. Yeah, not at
Okay,
2.5.
yeah.
Some of them, some books have them at 2.
It could move down to a point and a half with some of the injury news out the secondary. I wouldn't be surprised if around game time, if you are a better, if you do want to, if you're leaning Bears to cover, you might want to wait till Sunday morning because that line can move down to 1.5. Could be a good value.
Yeah, you're right. I think a lot of that is still baked in with the Jaguars being the more experienced team going over, taking this flight over there to play. So I'm hoping the Bears don't let that. They're prepared. Jacksonville, because of the storm in Florida, they were not able to get out as early as they've been accustomed to. So I hope that
That's huge.
helps edge the Bears
Yeah,
in the right direction.
yeah. That's key. I hate to see Florida take back-to-back losses. Actually, I don't. I just hate to see them take the loss to the Hurricanes. Uh, Unfortunately, like I said, they're going to get the belt also, but at least it isn't in It isn't in Florida. You get the belt overseas. It's crazy that you got to pack your passport to get the belt, but that's what's going to happen Sunday. Packing a passport just to get the belt.
New emphasis on the term passport bros. Thanks for checking out this latest edition from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Whether you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or watching on Twitch or YouTube, do the same. Like, subscribe, share with a friend, hit the notification bell so you never miss a drop. And to all my homies in Chicago, we say 3 things. Bear down, go Cubs go, and sell the team, Jerry. Who was that